podcast style video like nothing happens about the topic of DINGS, as we call them. And this is some info I got straight from eBay because I am an up and running grant winner this year. And as part of that, we do weekly webinars on different topics and have question and answer sessions with people from eBay, different people who work on different things. So I'm trying to provide you with the info I learn and trying to ask questions that people want to know the answers to. So this week in our webinar, it was about seller performance. And so I'll tell you what came out of that. Seller performance is that thing where you can be a top rated seller, a top rated plus seller, or you can just be above average or below average. And you get certain like discounts and benefits the higher you are in that thing. And if you are below average too much, I think there may be ramifications eventually. I'm actually not sure about that. But this is what I learned about that whole dealio. All right, so seller performance is evaluated on the 20th of the month, and when they evaluate it, they decide if you're a high volume seller or a low volume seller, and that based on like how much stuff you sell, obviously. I mean, I think a lot of us are, or most of us are probably low volume sellers. But if you're a low volume seller, they look at your past 12-month history to determine this. And if you are a high volume seller, it's only the past 3 months. And there are 4 factors only that go into the seller performance rating. The first is the transaction defect rate. That's like when you get an item not as described, complaint from your buyer, or when you cancel for a reason that is your own fault, those sorts of things. The second is cases closed without seller resolution, like when eBay has to step in and fix it. The third is late shipping, like the buyer receives the item late and it's because you have sent it out late. And the fourth is tracking uploaded and validated on time. And I'll say a little bit more about that. So nothing else will affect your seller level. There are things that can penalize you in other ways, which maybe we sometimes also call DINGS, but they're not really DINGS in the sense of your seller level. Things like Vero violations or canceling for the wrong reasons or doing scams or like worse stuff than that. So it's just these 4 things that affect your seller level. And here are some random other facts. Your tracking uploaded rate only lasts about 3 months on your account, regardless if you're a high or low volume seller, and it will not make you go below standard, even if you are really bad at uploading your tracking on time. It will not actually push you below standard, no matter what. And also, if your item is delivered on time, according to the tracking, it should wipe out any late scan defect rate. So like if you bring your thing to the post office and they put it into their system, but they don't scan it yet, and it still gets there on time, you might get a late scan ding. But once the seller, the buyer receives it in a timely fashion, that ding should go away. And this last one was news to me, and I guess it should have been obvious, but I never even thought about it. so you might know this, but if you use a third-party site for to buy your labels, to buy your shipping, like Pirate Ship or anything else, you should paste the tracking number into eBay on that item when you ship it out, so that eBay knows you did your whole tracking thing in a timely fashion. I didn't ever think about that, and I didn't do it, and consequently I have like a bunch of items that are late tracking. Did not push me below the it didn't push me to below average, because it doesn't do that, but just so you know. And then I asked about when you ship something via an untracked method, and I know that's not encouraged, but it's not prohibited either. Like, oftentimes if I'm sending like a postcard or some small slip of paper that's not, very valuable, like $20 or less, to Canada, the seller will request I send it just in an envelope. That's one of my options for those kind of items, because it will cost them like $1.50, $1.60 versus $13 to mail a postcard. So I'll do that sometimes, once in a while. Not everyone requests it. And I asked if that counts as an untracked item, which I'd imagine it would, but they said it doesn't. So I need some more clarity on that. It's it's not really important, but I'm just a little confused by that. And then a few other things I thought were interesting. Negative feedback does not figure into your seller level in any way. Neither does customer service response time. So like when somebody asks you a question and you forget to answer it for 2 days, that does not affect your seller level. And it also does not affect SEO, like what we call the algorithm. It's not gonna make your items show up better or worse in any way. So I think that's a long-standing myth. People think you need to like get on those customer service responses for technical reasons as well as customer service reasons, but it is not true. It's just good business. It's not gonna affect you in eBay's algorithms. And just so you know, the people who were in this webinar, the other winners, everyone gave a ton of feedback about how the thing with counting when the post office scans your tracking is kind of BS, and they should not do that. And I think the people we were talking to really heard that and understood why that's silly, because we can't control it. And some, post offices vary. So they are going to take that back to the team that deals with that aspect for further discussion, just so you know. So I will be going to a Q&A session tomorrow again. So if you have any questions you want me to try to get in, let me know. I'm sure I'll come up with lots of them of my own before then as well, because curious minds want to know. All right. Hope this was helpful. Please like, share, subscribe, and all those things. And take care, and thank you.